Kevin Hart jokes about Diddy, Cardi B, and Kanye at Bet Awards. Kevin Hart's unhinged Bet Awards monologue. Did he destroy Hollywood's elite or just speak the truth? Shocking reactions. Per, imagine a pressure cooker filled with Hollywood's biggest egos, simmering scandals, and unspoken truths. Now picture Kevin Hart walking in and cranking up the heat. What happens? You get the most talked about, dissected, and debated BET Awards monologue in recent history. Forget the polite applause and predictable jokes. Hart detonated a comedic bomb that sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. He didn't just poke fun, he dissected, exposed, and challenged the very foundations of celebrity culture. From the Diddy debacle to Cardi B's rumored drama and a full frontal assault on Kanye West's public persona, no one was safe from Hart's comedic crosshairs. We're not just diving into the jokes, we're performing a full autopsy on the performance that had the audience gasping, squirming, and reaching for their phones to tweet their outrage or applause. Was it a masterclass in comedic bravery, a reckless act of career suicide, or did Hart simply hold up a mirror to the uncomfortable realities of Hollywood's elite? Prepare for a deep dive, because we're about to unpack every single scandalous moment of this unforgettable night. The slippery Diddy joke, a calculated nuclear strike? Hart didn't just test the waters of controversy, he launched a full-scale nuclear strike, and Diddy was ground zero. He casually, yet pointedly, warned the A-list crowd, a room packed with music moguls, rising stars and industry gatekeepers, to steer clear of any after-parties where things might get, shall we say, slippery. The implication was so blatant it practically slapped you in the face. For anyone who's been remotely conscious in the past year, slippery is now synonymous with the swirling vortex of allegations, investigations, and lawsuits that have engulfed Diddy's empire. We're talking about accusations ranging from sexual assault and abuse to trafficking and racketeering, charges so serious they've sent shockwaves through the entire music industry and beyond. Per ED Day. But was this just a throwaway gag, a cheap laugh at someone else's misfortune? Insiders are whispering that Hart's opening salvo was a meticulously planned power move, a declaration that the old rules of Hollywood no longer apply. Sources claim that Hart, a savvy businessman and cultural commentator in his own right, had been closely monitoring the Diddy situation for months, recognizing it as a watershed moment for the industry. He allegedly felt a moral obligation to address the elephant in the room, even if it meant risking the wrath of powerful figures and potentially jeopardizing his own career. The joke landed like a lead balloon, a jarring mix of nervous titters and stunned silence that hung heavy in the air. It was a bold, almost reckless move, setting the stage for a night of comedic carnage that would leave everyone wondering who would be next to fall. And trust us, Diddy was just the first domino. Cardi B and the pink stuff. Dancing on the edge of defamation. Next up, Hart turned his comedic gaze towards the one and only Cardi B, the Grammy-winning rapper who's built her empire on unapologetic authenticity and a healthy dose of controversy. He casually dropped a reference to some mysterious pink stuff, a phrase that immediately sent social media into a frenzy. For those not fluent in internet slang, pink stuff is a thinly veiled allusion to the rumors and speculation surrounding Cardi B's relationship with her husband, Migos rapper Offset, and alleged infidelity involving NFL player Stefon Diggs. The internet has been ablaze with unverified claims, leaked screenshots, and anonymous sources, painting a picture of a complicated and potentially volatile situation. Now, this is where Hart's monologue veered into truly dangerous territory. He wasn't just making a light-hearted joke about a celebrity couple. He was actively amplifying unconfirmed rumors and potentially damaging Cardi B's reputation. Was he simply engaging in harmless satire, or was he flirting with the line between comedy and defamation? Some legal experts have suggested that Hart's pink stuff reference could be grounds for a lawsuit, arguing that it constitutes a form of indirect slander. Others maintain that it falls under the umbrella of protected speech, as it's clearly intended as a joke and doesn't explicitly accuse Cardi B of any wrongdoing. Regardless of the legal implications, the joke sparked a firestorm of controversy, with fans and critics alike debating whether Hart had gone too far. The crowd's reaction was a palpable cocktail of amusement, discomfort, and morbid curiosity, a clear indication that Hart had struck a nerve. And the jokes kept coming, each one pushing the boundaries of what's considered acceptable in the world of celebrity comedy, proving that Hart wasn't afraid to play with fire. Waymo burn and protests, finding dark humor in a city on fire. In a moment of surreal comedic brilliance, or utter tastelessness depending on your perspective, Hart somehow managed to weave the recent Waymo car fires into his monologue. Yes, you read that correctly. Self-driving vehicles engulfed in flames became fodder for his comedic mill. He drew a bizarre connection between the burning Waymos and the protests over immigration raids that had recently rocked Los Angeles, pointing out that some of the demonstrations had taken place just blocks away from the BET Awards venue. It was a jarring juxtaposition of high-tech dystopia and social unrest, a moment that left the audience wondering if they were watching a comedy show or a commentary on the state of the world. This joke was arguably the most audacious and potentially offensive of the entire monologue. Was Hart making light of serious social issues, trivializing the struggles of marginalized community for the sake of a cheap laugh? Or was he using dark humor to highlight the absurdity of our times, forcing us to confront the uncomfortable realities of a society grappling with inequality and technological disruption? Critics were quick to condemn the Waymo joke as insensitive and tone-deaf, accusing Hart of exploiting real-world suffering for comedic gain. Supporters, on the other hand, argued that he was simply holding up a mirror to society, reflecting the chaos and contradictions of our modern world. The joke hung in the air like smoke from the burning cars, a reminder that even in the midst of celebration and entertainment, the world outside is often a messy and complicated place. But the night was far from over, and Hart had one more target in his sights, the biggest and most controversial of them all. Kanye West and Sinners, the ultimate comedic showdown, or a personal vendetta. Hart saved his most potent comedic venom for Kanye West, now known as Ye the rapper, producer and fashion mogul, who's become synonymous with controversy. He slyly referenced the upcoming Sinners movie, starring Michael B. Jordan, a film shrouded in secrecy but rumored to explore themes of redemption, forgiveness, and the complexities of human nature. The joke was subtle, relying on the audience's deep understanding of Kanye's tumultuous public persona and his recent struggles with mental health, political affiliations, and artistic expression. The implication was clear. Hart was suggesting that Kanye himself was a sinner in need of redemption, a figure whose actions and words have caused pain and division. This was the moment that everyone had been waiting for, the ultimate comedic showdown between two cultural titans. Kanye West has been a lightning rod for controversy for years, and Hart's decision to target him was seen by many as a bold and potentially dangerous move. Was Hart simply engaging in harmless satire, or was he using his platform to settle a personal score? Some sources claim that Hart and Kanye have a long-standing rivalry, fueled by professional jealousy and differing views on art and culture. Others suggest that Hart was genuinely concerned about Kanye's well-being and was using comedy as a way to challenge him to confront his demons. Regardless of the motivation, the joke landed with a seismic impact, sending shockwaves through the audience and igniting a global conversation about mental health, celebrity culture, and the limits of forgiveness. The tension in the room was palpable, a sense that anything could happen at any moment. And as the camera panned to the audience, many wondered if Kanye himself was in attendance, silently plotting his revenge. The monologue's aftermath, a cultural reset, or just another scandal? The dust has settled, the confetti has been swept away, but the echoes of Kevin Hart's BE Awards monologue continue to reverberate throughout Hollywood and beyond. Was it a watershed moment, a cultural reset that will forever change the way we view celebrity and comedy? Or was it just another fleeting scandal destined to be forgotten in the relentless churn of the 24-hour news cycle? The answer, as always, is complex and multifaceted. Rumors are swirling that Hart's monologue has sparked a major rift within the entertainment industry, dividing celebrities and executives into opposing camps. Some are praising him as a courageous truth-teller, while others are condemning him as a reckless provocateur. There are whispers of boycotts, cancelled projects, and strained relationships, suggesting that the fallout from the monologue could be felt for years to come. Some insiders claim that Hart has been blacklisted by certain studios and networks, while others insist that his popularity has only increased as a result of the controversy. The truth is likely somewhere in between, but one thing is certain: Hart's monologue has forced Hollywood to confront some uncomfortable truths about itself, exposing the hypocrisy, the power dynamics, and the unspoken rules that govern the industry. The audience speaks. Was justice served or lines crossed? The reaction to Hart's jokes has been as diverse and polarized as the audience itself. Social media has become a battleground, with fans and critics engaging in heated debates about the merits and demerits of the monologue. Some are hailing Hart as a comedic genius, praising his wit, his timing, and his willingness to take risks. They argue that he simply said what everyone else was thinking, holding celebrities accountable for their actions and challenging the status quo. Others are condemning him as a bully, accusing him of punching down, exploiting personal tragedies, and perpetuating harmful stereotypes. They argue that his jokes were insensitive, offensive, and ultimately damaging to the individuals he targeted. The debate has extended beyond social media, with news outlets, talk shows, and academic journals weighing in on the controversy. Some legal scholars have argued that Hart's monologue could have legal ramifications, potentially opening him up to lawsuits for defamation or slander. Others have defended his right to free speech, arguing that comedy is a form of artistic expression that should be protected from censorship. The question remains: did Hart cross the line, or was he simply pushing the boundaries of what's considered acceptable in the world of comedy? The answer, it seems, depends on your own personal values, your sense of humor, and your tolerance for controversy. The using scandal of pink stuff rumors surrounding Cardi B and the fiery wreckage of Kanye West's public persona. Kevin Hart's Beat Awards monologue was a wild, unpredictable, and ultimately unforgettable ride. He fearlessly tackled the biggest controversies head-on, leaving the audience both entertained and deeply uncomfortable. The jokes sparked laughter, outrage, and a whole lot of soul-searching, proving that comedy can be a powerful weapon, capable of both uniting and dividing us. But in the end, perhaps the most important question is not whether Hart went too far, but whether we, as a society, are willing to confront the uncomfortable truths that his jokes exposed. Are we willing to challenge the power structures that enable abuse and exploitation? Are we willing to hold celebrities accountable for their actions? And are we willing to laugh at ourselves, even when it hurts? The legacy of Hart's monologue will depend on how we answer these questions. So let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Was Hart a comedic hero or a villain? Did he speak truth to power, or did he simply cross the line? We want to hear your perspective, no matter how controversial it may be. Because, in the end, the truth is often the most uncomfortable joke of all.